Okay, yeah, it's the first year. No problem. We'll see. Okay, so I'll start real quick. My name is Chris Boone. I'm with Canyon Creek Church. We call our school the School of Ministry and Leadership, and so we abbreviate it and call it SALML. So if I say SALML, just know that is the School of Ministry and Leadership. I put my contact info. My bad, I completely left all my business cards at the church, and so I was like, oh, that's not good. But anyway, if you need to contact me for anything, or if you need any more information about what we do or anything, like, I share it all. I've spent a lot of time on the phone with some of our other CPP sites, and I've given them a lot of information, and I don't want to hoard this at all. I share it all, and at the same time, if you ask me, I'm going to ask you. So I'm going to, because we know that we're not doing it perfect by any means. And so I'll just get some of the logistics out of the way. We have 18 students in our program. We did have 21. We've ran both online school, and we have teacher-led classes as well. We have 4 people that head up our program. So we have Christian Lindbeck. He is our dean of the program. He's the one with multiple masters, so he helps validate our program a little bit more. He makes parents feel a little bit more happy about having their kids come and not being taught by people who just have a degree or might not have a degree at all. However, I have Siobhan. She's here. She has one of the babies, so if you see her walking around, she is a registrar. She does all the stuff I don't want to do, which is all the enrollment, all the making sure that kids have financial aid and classes and all that. I don't deal with any of the classroom stuff. So if you ask about classroom stuff, I'm going to say go to Siobhan. Email her. If you want her contact, just email me. And she's the one who has helped Becca be able to put this program together as far as that stuff goes, to make sure all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted. Then I have Kevin Long, who is my assistant. I brought him with me today. He's down at another session. And he is the interface with the students. So we all do this part-time. Christian is the lead pastor of the church. Siobhan runs an online business that's pretty successful. Kevin is our children's pastor. And then I work at Boeing. So I am it's not a project manager, but I help with process improvements. If you know lean manufacturing, I do that for all BCA wide, so I'm constantly traveling around the United States. Luckily, this week I was supposed to be gone, and I told them I can't go, I have to be here. So we all do it part-time, so we all come together and we work together as a 4-headed monster. And so some of you guys are doing it all by yourself, and so my hat is definitely off to you. And we've discussed it, but what we decided is we want 4 people who can do that one job very well. And so my role is that I am in charge of their day-to-day operations. So I take care of practicum, and I take care of their coaching and development. So all the coaching side of everything. And so that's pretty much how it's ran. And so I'll just go through the packet real quick, and then you guys can ask any questions that you might have. So this is an abbreviated version of our student orientation packet. It's actually like 15 pages long, but I made it very short for you guys today. This is our welcome. Obviously, you see Christian Lindbeck. His name is at the bottom as a dean. On the back of it, you'll see the helpful information. So this is a helpful information packet. My email's in the middle, who to contact with questions. So you can see Chris Boone, so in case you didn't write it down or you're trying to find it somewhere else. We have the Northwest University, we give them that. This is what most of you guys might want to see as our schedule. So we run Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They have Monday, Friday, Saturday off, and then we have them on Sunday mornings. We're a multi-site, so we just launched our 7th campus this past week, but I told Christian if we were gonna do this, we're all at one site. All the students come to the one site, and we'll deploy them out, but we're going to only do the program at one site. That way, everyone's getting the same training. We don't have to travel all over the place. We don't have to hire a whole bunch of people. It's all at one site. So we're at the Everett campus that we do this at. We start at 11 11 to 11:45, they can come early, do a little bit of study hall time, just make sure that they're there for the kickoff. At 11:45, Kevin kicks them off. At 12 to 12:30, we have Bible with Christians, so we actually go through the whole entire Bible in our 2-year span. We have a 2-year program, first years and second years, so you'll hear me say that a lot. Oh, our first year students are our second year students. Yeah.
So this is your schedule for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday?
This is our Tuesday schedule. If you go to the next page, it's our Wednesday schedule,
okay, got it.
and then our Thursday schedule. Tuesday and Thursday is pretty much the same. Wednesday's different. We don't do coaching on Wednesday. We actually added in altogether prayer time because we have everything linear. So the first year coaching is just for the first years, and then second year coaching is just for the second years, obviously. And so we have it split to where we are developing them as a person instead of, oh, well, let's just all talk about, we have it there's a methodical way of which we do it. So Christian goes through the Bible with them. He actually, so as you see Genesis chapter 1 through 7, he actually breaks that down for them for 30 minutes and goes into it. They ask any questions and stuff. It's actually a really good, beneficial time. And then they have a devotional for 30 minutes and we break. Then they have their practicum. So any practicum questions that you guys have, I can break that down for you too. Then they have a study hall time, coaching and development, and then lunch, and then we have our classroom from 6 to 9 p.m. because that's the easiest time for us to get live instructors. Most of the time they can't do it during the day. So we do a more end of the day thing instead of an 8 to 4. So the next page is Wednesday, so you can see how it, and then the page after that is Thursday. This is the part that most people ask me about, is our coaching. So if you go, the page should look like this. So this is how we have it broken up. So we wanted them at the very beginning to understand spiritual disciplines. The first year that we did the program, we had 2 students that just got saved that summer. So it was they were very new to what it meant to be a Christian. We wanted to bring everyone to the same page. And so we didn't know where their walks of life were. So we do a couple of spiritual discipline sessions at the beginning. We added in physical fitness. So we want them to know what it means to be physically fit. We do a Life 101 series to where we talk to them about yard work. Some of them have never done any yard work in their life, right? Some of them don't know how to take care of their car. I don't know about you, but this past year we've had more problems with students. Oh, I can't make it, my car just broke down, and well, have you checked your engine? Have you done this? Have you done that? So we have that built in. I mean, it's inevitable. They're going to date, so we're going to talk to them about dating and relationships. These are things that they don't really get talked to even out of college, right? Shopping and cooking on a budget. What does that really look like? Are they eating healthy? Is it just always Snickers bars all the time, right? So we do that. We have self-development, so we have them take the DISC assessment. And there are a lot of different, personality tests out there. We do the DISC because I'm certified. I got certified at Boeing to teach the DISC, so that's what we do. We do the DISC assessment. Right now, today, they're completing their core values. So we talk about what it means to have core values, and how those relate to your 1 to 5, 10-year goals. Some of these students don't have any goals whatsoever, and so we want to help them with that. We do Financial Peace University, so to help them out with that. The Next Generation Leader, we do a book week, and so we talk from different books, and so The Next Generation Leader, it's a book by Andy Stanley. If you haven't read it, it's really good. Understanding the Church, Usher and Greeter. So that's pretty simple. We show them what it means to be an usher greeter in our church. We plug them in as needed. We also have our church membership class, so they all become members. If they're going to be an intern at our church, they should be a member of the church. They should be able to vote, come to our meetings, understand the business side of the church as well. And then, as you can see, we have outreaches. Trunk or Treat is our Halloween outreach. Thanksgiving, we prepare a meal for families, and so they prepare all the we're a multi-site, we have like 1,500 to 2,000 that go to our church and they all bring food. And so we need someone to package it up and send it out, and so we utilize our students for that. We have an Easter outreach coming out where we do Friday night, Saturday morning, Easter egg hunt, Sunday all day, and they're fully involved the whole entire weekend. But the next week we give them spring break, so they have it off except for classes. And then a community dinner. So a buddy of mine runs a church on Sunday nights where he feeds the homeless, and so we're doing that this Sunday actually. So that's what we have them do year one. Year two is self-explanatory, and I feel like I've talked way too much, so I'm going to open up for questions.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, that your students go from 11 till 9, 3 days a week? Do
Yes.
they go through this whole?
Yes. Well, they come at like 11:30, but yeah. Wednesday they don't. As you can see, Wednesday they have that off unless they're a youth leader. Right now we're about 40% youth leaders, so they do. But besides that, they have Monday, Friday, and Saturday off. So yeah.
The question I had is the coaching schedule. You have them listed at 1 through 31. Those are those weeks of the year, or how do you break those up into your spiritual disciplines and your physical fitness? How do you kind of break those up as far as scheduling?
So we only have coaching on, the first year that we did it, we had coaching Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
But when I came to this thing last year, I was looking at a lot of other programs, and a lot of them, I felt really ashamed to say, we didn't have a lot of prayer time built in. We had one of our coaching months all about prayer, so we taught them about prayer, but we only had the 30 minutes at the beginning of the devotion, and that was it. And I was like, wow, we missed the mark, right?
Yeah.
And so on Wednesdays, we have an all-together time. It's about an hour, hour and a half, where they're all together, they pray, they actually self-lead it, or if we ever have a guest speaker come in, he leads a prayer and stuff like that. And so it's really cool. But how we have it broken out is that each week we'll focus on one thing.
Gotcha.
So like this week, we're finishing up their core values, and then on Thursday they're going to talk more about their goals.
Okay.
So it was a building process. We didn't just do one thing on it and be like, hey, you're good. We've actually, every quarter, we hit on that at the beginning of the quarter to reset their mind of who they are and everything like that.
Gotcha.
We do something different. So they said that they go 15 weeks, so they have 7 weeks, and then you have that 1 week and then another 7 weeks. That 1 week we give them a break. They don't come to the church, they don't do anything. I mean, they come for like our services and stuff like that, but we give them a break because we were meeting with the church when we first started to kick off, and we just didn't want to burn out our students. And they were burning out their students because they went Monday through Friday, and then they didn't get a break at all, ever. And so whenever they have a break built in, we're like, go, pray, get out there. Because I've been a part of an internship at the house in Modesto, and they go 24/7.
Yeah.
I only had Saturday and Friday nights off. That was it. And when you leave a place like that, you don't know how to interact with the world around you because all you know is church. Yeah.
Related question, what's the employment profile of these guys? Are they in part-time jobs?
Yes.
Is it a requirement that they be out there and engaged?
We want them to.
Yeah.
But we don't say you have to have a job. But all of them do, because most of them either live on their own or they're trying to live on their own, and so they do that. And so that's how come we also have the Monday off. Some of them work, some of them are nannies early in the morning,
Oh,
so
that's
they get off at like 11 o'clock and then they come and they do it. And so, yeah, we try to discourage them from working before school, just because they come and then by like 4 o'clock they're like
Just fried.
sleeping, and so we call them bum naps that they tend to take during study hall time. And they're like, we don't know if we like that, but yeah. So, but they do. I would probably say 95% of them work. In fact, I don't know of one person that doesn't work. But they all work part-time jobs, and like I told them, part-time jobs are a dime a dozen. So if your job doesn't work with our schedule, you can easily quit it and get another job, and they do. So.
Is this a typical schedule for CPPs, or this is just CPPs?
This is us. We do our classes on Tuesday and Thursday, so it's all built around Tuesday and Thursday, but it's weird to not come on Wednesday. And so we have them come on Wednesday. It's more of our practicum time, so they do that. We break up our practicum. Well, they told us too that you can't just have youth practicum, which I'm happy about. And so we have 4 tracks in their first year. So they start out with missions in the first quarter. Second quarter they do children's. Third quarter they have youth, and this track that they're doing right now is worship and creative arts. And then our teachers let us know who showed promise. We also talk to them at the end of the year of, hey, what practicum track would you like to do for a full year next year? Because you already got the basics down, but now we really want to invest in you. And so that's how it works out. But we have someone who has no desire to go into full-time ministry, but she wants to be a CEO of a company someday and go into business and help out nonprofit missionaries. And so that is her whole entire goal. And so she is with our business side of the church, and so she has a whole project managing portfolio that she has built with our executive pastor. So it's really cool, and she just got accepted to Wazoo. So our program works. So that's awesome. You had a question, Ruby?
I was wondering, your interns, do they have to have any particular credentials?
What do you mean?
What do your interns do?
What do you mean do?
I mean, this is about building interns, right? What is this?
Yeah. So-
Okay, and I'm wondering about the exact definition of your intern. It's like a student teacher or something.
Yeah, so our interns, we actually strive farther away from the word intern because it sounds like all you're doing is setting up chairs and tearing down chairs. This makes our 3rd internship-esque that we've tried to do, and the last 2 failed miserably, like so bad. And so we wanted to stray away from it, so we call them students, we don't call them
We do the
interns.
same thing,
We strive away from intern because there's a bad connotation, at least at our church, when it comes to internship. But this is the internship aspect of it. So on Sundays, they get there at 7:45. We have our staff meeting at 8 o'clock. Our lead team has staff, and so they sit in on it to see how the church is ran. And then with the practicum leader, so like right now it's worship and creative arts. So it's either someone's running PowerPoint, we have kids actually leading worship on stage, or they're not leading, but they're in one of the, they're playing guitar, or they're on the keys or something like that. We have a set manager, so that person makes sure that the pulpit comes on, gets the water for the pastor, make sure everything's all set, ready to go. If, say, we have people that call out from being an usher or greeter that day, we plug them in there, so that's how come we show them how to be an usher and a greeter and stuff like that. So if they're in the children's track, we have different children's ministries, and so they jump in and they do that. The internship side of it is our practicum, and so during the week, they're preparing for either A, Sunday, or B, they're going through what it means to actually do youth ministry. And so more than just a hype of Wednesday, but what does it mean to talk to parents? What does it mean to interact with different students? What do you do with a difficult student? Like they're learning all the practicality of it. So that's where their internship time is, along with the outreach as well. So trunk or treat, obviously, that's our missional, one of our missional outreaches that we do for the community. We started doing it, and there was like 400 people that came through, and this last time we had over 3,000 people come through. And so when you have your students who are putting that on and getting cars signed up and doing all that, they see it's more the nitty gritty, but not setting up and tearing down chairs. It's more than that. They're actually learning. So our goal, like when he was talking about goals, our goal is not to make ministers. Our goal is to make functioning human beings that understand all aspects of the church, that are developing themselves spiritually while getting a good education. And so we understand that. I mean, the church's goal is to plant 100 churches in our lifetime. So that's a daunting task. So we need a pipeline to pull from, and that's what we love about this. So that's sort of.
What do you plan to do with 3rd years?
So I wanted to make our program a 4-year program, and then Christian was like, we need to send them out.
Okay.
Send them out. However, that has all been retracted. So next year, we have 9 students that are graduating, or they'll be done with their second year. Out of those 9 students, all of them are going off to college. Whether we have 1 student that's going to Grand Canyon University, we have 2 going to Wazoo, Western Washington. We have a couple that are coming here to Northwest, and then we have 3 that said, hey, we want to stay being a part of the program. So we have 2 that are missionary, that want to be full-time missionaries. So they're actually going to help develop the missionary track with our missions pastor. And so that's what they're going to be focused on next year, is how do we develop our missions program a lot better? Because so far, we've done it for 2 years and we've had 2 different people. And so it's just been sort of thrown in at the last second, not done as great as we'd like it to be. And so they're going to be in charge of that and helping that out. And so that's how they're going to be more as a leader than someone who's actually going through the basics. Yeah.
So of the students, how many are taking the internship portion for credit? Or do you have anyone taking the free credits?
Yes. So that's our practicum.
Okay, and so
They're
what
all
percentage
doing
are
it.
doing that?
100%.
All of them?
Yep.
So that's working out pretty good.
Yeah. It's working out great, and so at first they were frustrated because a lot of them were like, hey, I want to be a youth pastor for the rest of my life, and because that's all that they know is youth ministry. And I was telling them the story about my friend Josh, who all he knew was youth ministry. He became a youth pastor, then he came out here, married a girl, and he's from New York, married a girl here, did youth ministry here, and then just got burnt out. And our senior pastor was like, hey, what do you think about Josh? Do you think he'd be a good children's pastor? I'm like, well, he acts like a kid, so yeah, he'd probably be pretty good at it. And sure enough, he was a good youth leader, but he's an exceptional children's pastor. And now he's in New York, and he runs a multi-site children's ministry. But if he would have done a program like ours, he would have gotten that bug at the beginning. And so then they're like, oh, hey, we know Josh, and we know, okay, yeah, this makes sense. And so it was funny when he was talking about no one wants to do children's ministry, and now, our first years right now, a lot of them do want to do children's ministry. And so they're going to do the children's ministry track next year, so. But yeah, they all do it 100%.
Okay, kind of a structured question. In your first year, were there part of the different sub-ministries? Do your leaders in those ministries, do they have structured time with the interns, or is it so where they give them feedback, or they train, or is it more an intuitive thing? How do you wire that?
So as you can see in the schedule, we have an hour period of time in the first year, and they structure it the way that I've asked them to structure it is that 30 minutes of it is where you're teaching and 30 minutes is application, because we don't just want them to sit there for an hour, because they're already going to be sitting down for 3 hours for their class, right? So to sit them down for that long, it's like, and then you add coaching on top of it, which is another. So everything that we do, it tries to be 30 minutes where you're talking, and then 30 minutes where it's either discussion or 30 minutes where it's hands-on, and so this year they've really stepped up the game as far as they've given them assignments, and then they go off and they do that, and then they come back and they do report outs on their assignments of what they've learned and what they've done, and so it has made it a little bit more beneficial, but they have an hour dedicated each. Now for year 2s, the way that we have it structured is because they already got the basics, and now a lot of it is hands-on. So typically they meet on Monday for about an hour, and then Tuesday and Thursday, they're actually doing it for whatever is on Sunday, and then they meet back on Monday and they give them feedback and they ask what they knew, and then they might give them a little bit of teaching, and then they go back into, okay, this is what we need to, but everything builds on it. So with missions right now, our 2 missionary interns, or students I should say, they started their second year of putting together trunk or treat, but right now they're planning our Kenya trip. So they're having to talk to Compassion International and setting that all up and all the dates and everything like that. And so they're actually seeing all the steps that it takes to run things like that. So we made it to where at the end of year 2, they're doing something pretty big. So our worship, our 2 worship students, we do a thing called One Voice. Since we do have 7 sites, we come together as one site once a month on a Wednesday, and it's a worship prayer service, and they're gonna lead that. So, but we've been preparing them, they've been playing for One Voice, but they haven't led it. And so they lead the team, they coach the team, and then and so everything that we do, it all connects to the next thing. And that was probably one of the main things that he wanted me to talk to you guys about, of when you do set up your internship or whatever, make sure that it's developing into the next thing. Instead of just hey, we're doing this just for the sake of it. Everything leads into the next thing. And so that way by the end, you're like, hey, they get it, they understand it. We have confidence in them to where when they do go off for 2 years, they come back, we want to hire them because we've personally invested and developed them.
That's helpful, thanks.
Any other questions? Is there anything that you guys might be struggling with, or anything that you guys are doing really well that maybe isn't down here? Because I love to take things shamelessly.
So,
My situation is this: we developed a one-year program for the school ministry. And then through our partnership with Northwest now, it's helped us make sense of having students come back for a second year because they'd be taking Northwest classes. And so the question, I guess, spills into, so trying to think about how to really build out the second and third years and make them meaningful, because I've put a lot of effort into the first year. What have been some of the things, like, when you look at your coaching schedule, what are some things you would really say, like, man, we found this to be really, I mean, obviously you like it all because you put it in there, but are there certain things where you go, wow, I would really recommend this, we found this to be really effective with the students, certain aspects of the teaching?
The more that we can give them opportunities to lead, I guess, and then we get to develop that. That has been our big thing instead of just teaching. We wanted year 2 to really be a time for them to lead. So like the Bible time, they're leading it this quarter. So instead of Christian coming in and talking, he gives them the notes, they even go over their own notes, they lead it. Our prayer time, they're leading all the prayer weeks for these next 7 weeks. For me, I'm constantly changing the coaching, to be honest. I mean, for the year 2s that I have right now, when they did the program for the first time, year 1, I got online and I bought the spiritual discipline PDF file, which has like over 400 spiritual disciplines, which I didn't even know that was a thing. And so, I mean, I hit them upside the head with every spiritual discipline, and I'm like, these kids are bored to death, right? Like, they're checked out. They're like, oh, another spiritual discipline.
I'm only doing like 301.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so,
got room to grow, you know?
yeah, so I'm constantly looking. This is our first time with year 2 as far as coaching goes, and I picked the 21
Okay,
year
so you just took a step from first year to building on a second year as well? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
yeah, so this is the first year that we've ran them through it. And we're doing the 21 irrefutable laws just because I feel like that's a basic leadership Bible. It covers everything so well.
That was the Andy Stanley book?
John Maxwell.
Oh,
The
Maxwell.
Next Generation Leader is the Andy Stanley book, and they get that in. Because we do a book week to get them to, hey, you should be reading, you should get to know, read, instead of watch YouTube or whatever else it is that you're doing to develop yourself. You should be reading, have your nose in a book. So the 21 irrefutable laws has worked, except for there's so many. If I was to do it again, I would take a book that has maybe like 7 concepts and go through those concepts and actually get them to do it well. But they get it and they like it. I bought them all the book, so they all have the book. It's not like I'm just talking out of the book. And it's not just me doing it. So I have all the pastors talking to them in year 2. All the coaching and everything, I probably do 25% of it. Now, when they were first years, and we just had first years, I probably did 75% of it. And I was like, man, this is too much. They need to hear someone else and get a different perspective. So this year, I have really stepped back, especially since at work, I've been so much more busy. And so we have different pastors come in, and there are 2 pastors that are really good at this, and so they've been jumping in and helping out with it. But Yeah, I think the best thing that we've been able to do is get them to lead, because they learn so much more that way. And then we give them the feedback of, hey, what did you experience in this? You know, we always have like an evaluation form. Like, what did you experience? What was challenging? What wasn't challenging? What did you, this is what we saw. And so that way we start to develop them as leaders. And because a lot of our students, I don't know if you get this, their self-confidence coming in is like down to here. So, but if you have good coaching tips, like I said, I am always willing to hear it. You know,
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
What is the physical fitness part of that look like? I mean, you talk about, you have your coaching schedule, you've got jogging, kettlebell, yoga.
Mhm.
What does that look? Do you bring someone in? Is it like
jogging.
how does that go over and how do you implement it?
Okay, so the physical fitness, so jogging. Our men's ministry director, he has 6 children, and all of them run 3 miles before school every day. Kid you not, and they love it. His daughter is a freshman in high school, and she just went to state, right? He believes in physical fitness and what it brings to your body and everything like that. So we brought him in, and he does a coaching aspect of why should you be fit? Why does this, what does it mean to actually stay fit? And what does the Bible have to say about it, right?
Yeah.
So applies that, and then he takes them on a short run, right? For them, they're gassed.
Right.
For him, it's like, I took them on half a mile run there and half a mile back. We prayed, it's a time to get focused and stuff like that, and then come back. And we're lucky because we have showers at our facility, and whenever we do anything physical fitness wise, they do that. Our pastor's wife is a kettlebell instructor, and she leads a kettlebell class. So we have her come in with her whole entire kettlebell set. She does all of that. We have a counselor at our church, and she is a yoga instructor, and so she leads them through yoga. But she talks about what it means to get your mind right, and what that can do for you, and how you can pray in a different way to God, and doing all that. So, I mean, every single person. So, like, all this stuff I don't do. I've just thought, hey, they need to understand what it means to be, because I remember as a youth leader, man, when I ate garbage food, and then summer camp was happening. I mean, I was dead after like one day, but if I was eating right and doing that, I mean, I could last a lot longer and, go the full distance. And that's what we want them to understand is that, and do they have the energy to go the full distance?
Yeah.
And so, we pull stuff out of books as well. There's a lot of CEO books out there about what it means to be healthy. Like if you look at some of the most, entrepreneurial, most recognized people, they're all fit. Like they embody that, and so we believe that as well.
So that's 1 week. So essentially 3 weeks out of your first year is spent kind of doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay, perfect.
it's in the quarters. So the first quarter we do jogging. Second quarter we do kettlebell, and it will be Tuesday and Thursday. So they get a double dose of it.
Oh, okay.
Third quarter they do yoga, and then fourth quarter they do jogging again.
Right on.
Yep.
Okay. So they're doing that like consistently throughout the entire year. Awesome. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. We also do a business 101, so we bring in different business people to help them. I mean, a lot of these kids don't know how to do PowerPoint or Excel or any of that, and none of your classes teach that. So, and they're all things that you need to learn out there, whether you're going to be a pastor or whether you're going to be in the business world. Like, you need to know the basics, and so we take time out for that. Project management skills, we've learned that if they understand some project management skills, they know how to prioritize things better in their daily school life, in which if you have a program, like you understand how much that they don't prioritize real well. So that's one of the things. And team building too. Like, since they're around each other all the time, it's easy for them to become family and get into that route of tearing each other down instead of building each other up sometimes. And so we try to incorporate that as well. But I will say this, we do, if you do your program, have a lot of flexibility. So there are times when I look at their faces and I'm like, we just need to pray. Like, I could talk about the law of inner circle, but we need to pause and just take this time to reconnect and, get back to being who we should be and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of times that we stray off of this, to be honest. And we'll try to fit it in somewhere else, and if not, it's like, well, God wanted them to have something else more than this of what I had planned out, and He knew that was going to happen. We do have times where Kevin and I have created 5 things that we always have in our back pocket at all times as well. So if a leader doesn't show up, like, hey, I can't make it, my kid, blah, 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 like, I get it, we have something backed up. And the students know, they're like, at any given moment, that's how we do our 11:45 in the morning thing, to let them know of any changes that happen to the schedule. I send out the schedule every either Sunday night or Monday night, and that way they know what they're doing for the week. Everything's intentional. We don't leave anything for practicum, all intentional. I have all their stuff 2 months ahead of time, so I know exactly what it is that they're going to be doing. Bible, we know what's going to be happening. Coaching, we know what's going to be happening. We have it all intentional. So a month before the quarter, we're ready to go. And I've already contacted the leaders of who's teaching it. And I would say the same thing. It's respect for them that you're not just planning it at the last second. So
I'm looking at, just trying to count the hours that they're actually serving in a particular track that they're with.
Mhm.
And it looks like about, how many hours on Sunday are they?
it is from 7:45 to about 1 o'clock.
Okay. So it's like an hour and a half a day or so
Mm-hmm.
for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then 5 hours. So about 10 hours they're serving in that particular ministry within a week.
Yeah, I mean, they also have like a journal that they have to write in and stuff like that too,
Mhm.
of like what they've learned and stuff like that.
Right,
They have to turn in. I thought that was that was really good on Northwest part, because I was constantly trying to think of how do we know if they're getting it or not. And that was always my thing of, are they getting it? And so once they added in that journal aspect, I was like, this is brilliant. So we gave them all journals at the beginning of the year, and I was like, I know that you guys don't want to write, but trust me, if you do go into full-time ministry, or even if you don't, you're going to pull these back out. I mean, a lot of what I regurgitate to them is all notebooks and stuff that I had when I was an intern for 2 years. So, yeah.
Sweet.
So, I think we're almost out of time. We have 4 minutes left. Any other questions? Has this been helpful at all?
Very,
Yeah,
nice,
thank
Chris.
you.
Yeah, good stuff.
No problem. And like I said, feel free to contact me. If you need practicum stuff or anything like that, I can send that your way. I didn't put that in the packet because it is kind of a lot, but anything that you guys would like to see or anything. So just know I'll contact you back and be like, hey, what are you doing for coaching? What are you doing for this? What's something that you've done that you've seen that's been successful? Because I'm constantly